Dobrý den, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. Today we are changing the topic a little bit. I want to take a look at another verb prefix. Remember at the end of last year I told you I'm gonna take a break and get back to the verb prefixes. I'm getting back to them many months later, but that's not important. Here we are. Today I want to talk about the prefix po. We're also going to talk about verbs that can have po and another po in front of them. So they start with popo. For example, this phrase is something that you might hear. Poposuň se trochu. Poposuň se trochu. Soon you will find out what this sentence means. The prefix po has, like other prefixes, more meanings, more functions. Today I want to talk about just a few functions, and next week I'll give you more examples. And let's start with the first function that the verb prefix po can have. When a verb starts with po, it can sometimes mean just a bit. We do something very little, just a little bit. It is quite informal, and for that reason you can hear it a lot when Czech people speak. Let's start by the verb pofoukat. The prefix is right here. The verb foukat means to blow, as in the wind blows. Vítr fouká, that would be the imperfective. Foukat. Foukat is the imperfective form. It means it's not finished. It's an ongoing activity. And pofoukat is a perfective verb. It describes an activity that will be finished or was finished. Now, how could you use this if you want to say that you are going to blow on something just a little bit? Imagine a small child that was picking blackberries of a bush, and the child got hurt by one of the thorns in the bush. So the child, let's say, is Anička. It's a girl, and she cries and says, "Mommy, to bolí. It hurts, mom." And her mother comes and she says, "Já ti ten prst pofoukám." Ukáž, já ti ten prst pofoukám. Which means I'll blow on your finger gently so that you feel better. That's the implication. The mother offers comfort and relief for the child. Ještě jednou, já ti ten prst pofoukám. Pofoukám. Just a symbolic. Now, pozměnit, the imperfective verb is right here, měnit. And that means, as you might know, to change. When you look at it closely, you see there are two prefixes actually. Oh, that's nothing unusual. It can happen in the Czech language. Změnit means to change. That's just the perfective version of it. Something will be changed or was changed, depending on what tense you use. And pozměnit, it means to change it just a little bit, change it slightly. For example, a friend gives you their thesis to read and you say, tenhle odstavec bych trochu pozměnila. I would change this paragraph just a little. I would modify this paragraph a little bit. Tenhle odstavec bych trochu pozměnila. Now you might be asking, why did you say trochu if pozměnit already means a little bit? And trochu means a little. You are right. It is enough to say, já bych ten paragraf pozměnila. Adding trochu is redundant. However, this is common and we use it when we speak, although it's not exactly by the grammar book. Now here is where it gets interesting. The prefix po can be followed by another prefix po, so they repeat and we get popo plus the rest of the verb, such as in the verb popojít, which comes from the verb jít. These three verbs are telling us that we are going to move or advance by a small distance, just a little bit again, but we are specifically talking about moving by a small distance. Popojít means to move forward by walking just a little bit. Popojít. Like this. So imagine you're waiting in a line and there are so many people and it's not moving. The line is almost not moving. After an hour you say, za hodinu jsme popošli asi o metr. We moved about a meter in an hour. Za hodinu jsme popošli asi o metr. Popošli. Or you could tell someone, popojdi trošku. Okay, move a little bit. The funny thing is, pojít doesn't work. Pojít in Czech means to die, and we don't use it that much. It's a little bit archaic. So this particular verb is perfective, and it's either the original form jít, walk, or popojít. Popojít dopředu, popojít dozadu. Popojít doleva, this is my left. Popojít doprava. Now what about poposunout se? Now we're getting to the phrase poposuň se trochu, which I wrote at the beginning of the video. Let's start from the end. Sunout. Sunout means to drag or slide, to move something by sliding. That would be the imperfective form, but we usually use posunout. So we would use the first prefix, posunout. Posunout is perfective, so a finished action. Sunout or posunout means to move by sliding, like this. So, posunuto doprava, posunuto doleva. Posunout means to move, slide something. It doesn't mean to move it a little, it's just the perfective form of this verb. But poposunout, when you use double po, it means to slide it just a little bit. So it's very handy verb when you are taking a picture of something or someone. Let's say you want this globe in the middle, so you say posuň to trochu doleva. My left, your right. Posuň to trochu doleva, poposuň to doleva. That's when you use it without se, when you slide something. Poposuň to doleva. Poposuň to doleva. Slide it a little to the left. And when you use se, it means that you are gonna slide yourself. You're sitting on a bench and a friend says poposuň se trochu, which is something like scooch a little bit. Poposuň se trochu. If they told you posuň se, it's fine too. But poposuň se is very typical for the informal speech. You could easily just say posuň se, but why keep sentences short? You can emphasize that you want them to move just a little bit. Poposuň se. And you can also use the redundant word poposuň se trochu, which is what we say without a problem. Poposuň se trochu, scooch a little. And this last verb is a similar concept. Popostrčit. Strčit means to push. This would be perfective. Postrčit would be to push a little bit. Popostrčit is to push something just very slightly. Strčit also means to nudge. So if there is a crowd, you can say, strčil do mě. He nudged me. But that's different. Popostrčil mě would be that somebody pushed you a little bit, gently. It would not be aggressive. It's more like a friendly poke to push someone in the right direction. Imagine a person called Mirek and he's very shy. He needs to be told where to go, what to do. Je potřeba ho trochu popostrčit. You have to push him a little bit. Je potřeba ho trochu popostrčit. Popostrčit. This verb, popostrčit, is usually without se and means to push someone or something, but you could also have the reflexive se and it would be to move yourself by pushing. If you're not sitting on a surface that's very smooth that you could slide on. And in the same way, you could also have poposednout si, to move away by sitting, just a little. Poposednout si. The prefix po can also mean to do something sufficiently, and usually it means it was with a satisfactory result. And often it is followed by si. Let's start by this one that also has popo, but that's because the main verb is povídat si. Povídat means to chat informally. Povídat like this is imperfective. When you say povídám, it means I'm chatting right now. Once you add po and you have popovídat si, you have to have si as a part of it. If you use this prefix, popovídat si, it means that you chatted enough and you really had a good time. Hezky jsme si popovídali. We had a nice chat. It implies that it was kind of relaxed, nobody was in a hurry, there was no stress. Hezky jsme si popovídali. Remember, it has to have si. Pospat si means to sleep sufficiently and feel happy and rested. Imagine it's 5 a.m. and you wake up and your partner tells you, ještě si pospi, je brzo. Sleep a little bit more. Sleep until you have slept sufficiently. Ještě si pospí. So this one actually would mean to sleep a little bit more, but sufficiently. Last one is posedět. Posedět. It comes from the verb sedět, to sit, to be sitting. That would be the imperfective. Já sedím, I'm sitting. Posedím si would mean I will be sitting down and enjoying my time. Usually doing something enjoyable, like, I don't know, reading or drinking a tea or coffee. Poseděli jsme si u kávy. We sat over coffee. We had a nice time while we were sitting and having coffee. Poseděli jsme si u kávy. And you can even emphasize that nice time by adding hezky jsme si poseděli u kávy. Hezky jsme si poseděli u kávy a popovídali jsme si. This one, by the way, doesn't have to have si. You can also say hezky jsme poseděli u kávy. But it is more common to use si. There are many more examples which I am not going to mention here. If any other verb comes to your mind that could fall into these categories that I showed you, let me know in the comments and we can discuss it there. If you're curious about more verb prefixes, you can also check this playlist. And if you think that this was just a little bit too much, pick a sentence that you like. Pick 1 or 2 or 3 sentences that you like, learn it, and then use it with someone. To je ode mě všechno. This is all from me. I'll be back with another part on the prefix po, because there's a little bit more to it. Mějte se krásně. Ahoj!